Princey, come here. Come here.
Yeah, I like how you're really making this an episode of your old podcast.
I got here 35 minutes ago, and we haven't even started.
Well, I had to wait for your dog to go poop, and we had to wait for, our dogs to acclimate to each other.
Could have had this camera set up.
I'm saying more about you telling Prince, just talking to Prince.
Well, you just wanted
half
to
the
bark?
time of the podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Left Hand, Right Brain. Yeah,
Is this recording?
Yeah, it's recording. We got Ethan Everhart back here on the couch. I haven't seen him since Christmas, the Christmas episode, I think.
I don't even think I've seen you in person since then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
At all.
You took your gifts and you ran.
I sure did.
Yeah. Did you ever drink out of that mug I gave you?
Yes, I got chai, and I made chai.
You take it to school and use it?
I haven't taken it to school and used
Yeah,
it.
you
No.
think of Ben Daly just threw his away immediately?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's
He
kind of
drew a little
guy.
Hitler mustache on it.
No, you should go back and listen to that Christmas episode we did a couple months ago. It was
I'm
great.
King of Christmas.
Yeah, King of something.
That's me, King of Christmas.
Yeah, when Ethan brought his dog, Prince.
Yeah. I felt bad. I've been like out of the house all week, and he's just been at home alone. And Jeremy just moved out, so there's nobody's there. Figured I would take him out of the house, let him become a internet sensation like myself.
And I'm trying to get him a little more out of frame. I think if I zoom in more, he'll be completely out.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, so depending on how I edit this, actually, you might not be able to see the dog at all.
He's a crackhead. He's right here. I'm petting him. Your dog was sniffing his butt on the way when we got in here.
That's what dogs do.
That is what they do. That's also what some humans do. Hey, we're having fun.
They sniff each other's butts?
I think they do a little more than sniff. Is that going to demonetize you talking about?
If I was
butts?
monetized, I guess I would think about it.
Well, then I'm not
more,
worried
but
about it. If
yeah.
you're not monetized, who cares?
Yeah, I think you gotta have a little bit more followers than I do.
How many followers do you have?
On YouTube, not a lot. Maybe 50,
Okay.
something like that.
Hey, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
How many on the?
I guess that's subscribers.
Yeah. How many on the Spotify?
I don't know. I've never looked at Spotify. I don't even know how to get into their analytics.
Oh, you have to get a Spotify for artists.
No.
I
I
think there's one for there's a Spotify for podcasters too. I have the Spotify for artists for the band. Randomly, the other day we got 1,000 streams on a song, just randomly, like 988 of them in one day. It got thrown on some playlist for 24 hours.
You're not juicing it?
No,
Well, that's
because
nice.
it was like 8, 12, 4, 2, 1, 988. 1. That's what it was. Basically, what I'm saying is I get to retire from being a teacher now. I can go and play my guitar full time.
Because you had almost 1,000 downloads in one
1,000 streams in one day.
streams. Yeah, different than downloads.
Yeah, they're not downloads. They're streams.
Gosh, I'm so old now.
Yeah, you are.
I don't know what the difference
Yeah,
is.
downloads. That's your you should be speaking in units.
If the listener doesn't know, Ethan is in a band.
Yes, I am.
Solar Flare Sunset.
That is
lead
the band.
singer, vocalist, songwriter.
Yeah.
And then he has also a teacher.
I'm also the guitar player, more importantly.
I think I said that.
You said songwriter.
I said lead guitarist, lead
you
singer.
didn't say. You said lead singer and vocalist.
Oh, did I?
Yes, you did.
Oh, well. All right. Well, maybe have you ever thought about getting a different person to sing?
Well, here's the problem. When you write all the songs, and have you ever met musicians?
Yeah.
Do you know how narcissistic and delusional comedians are?
Yes.
It's that times 10 for musicians.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I've been around plenty of musicians,
Yeah.
and I would call myself a musician at different times in my life. So.
Okay, well, see what I mean?
I mean, yeah.
Look at your hat.
It was me saying I wanted to sing for you in your
Yeah.
band, basically, is what I was getting.
Not
at.
happening.
No? You don't think I have a better voice?
No.
I think I have a better...
No, pull me down right now.
Your song?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think that's...
Yeah, see?
I don't think it's a good example.
That's a great
of
example.
You singing.
Sure is.
I mean, sure, it's
Yeah,
fine.
and
It's
put
you
the
singing,
guitar
but then
solo in.
I could do it better. I
Yeah, put
think.
the guitar solo up. You think you can sing
Yeah, I
better than I
couldn't
can play
do-
guitar?
Yes.
No. No, you're insane. You're crazy.
I mean, what? Yeah, so you should be focusing on guitar, and I could
I don't
focus on
need
the
to focus
vocals.
on guitar. I'm so good. I can just do it in my sleep.
Humble too.
Yeah. No, I'm like better at guitar than I am at anything.
Yeah, then why even do comedy?
Well, because I've gotten paid more to talk about cum and farts than I ever have for playing guitar. So
you're following that dollar.
Yes, that's what it's about.
Do you think it's not wise to put that on your art? Do you see art as like this muse or like this creative force that's driving you?
There's this fantasy purported by failed artists that money should be no object whatsoever. I don't make
failed
music.
Artists.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, what's your goal with the art?
I don't make any money doing it.
Yeah, so you could argue that you create to create.
I do. But there's also this idea that if you make any money, or even not even make any money, but to be like, it would be great to make a lot of money doing this, that you're somehow devaluing the art and only doing it for the money. It's like, no, I also have a fucking mortgage.
I don't think that. I mean, a
lot of people do.
So if you're making money, you're not a successful artist? Because I thought you were saying it's the other way around. If you're not making money, then you're not an artist.
I mean, what does failed mean? But when I said it earlier, it just means somebody who's not doing it as a career.
That's your. I mean, yeah.
It's not
don't you think it's
what I mean?
Okay, so
it's not necessarily what I. It's not necessarily my value on artistry. Also, like the number of musicians who've never like done anything.
In the sense of like
maybe
they've
a record,
they've
never recorded an actual album. They've never really played shows. But you're like, hey, would you want to jam? And then they're like, let me see if I can fit it in. Or like they just come in and just are very disrespectful to the group that's already established. Is like, when we were before Jordan joined the band, for example.
Solar Flare, Sunset, your band.
So our original drummer Raul left the band.
Jordan joined the band.
Last week, Kyle quit the band. That's the song you're saying.
Yeah, but I'm making it for you.
But we were looking for drummers. So we're looking for drummers. And we matched with this guy on like Bandmix, which is like it's like a dating app basically for musicians.
It's Grindr for musicians because only dudes are on it.
Exactly, yeah. And we matched with this guy and we got his email. And in his email, he said, hey, I've listened to your stuff. It's pretty good. Your old drummer fucking sucked. I'm way better than him. And when I join the band, the music's going to be a lot heavier and a lot better. And it's like, motherfucker, I've been in this band for 10 years.
It's your band.
It's my fucking band. You're not going to fucking tell me how it's going to be. And so we were going to rehearse with this guy. So we booked a rehearsal studio.
So that was still like,
well, it was
I've still got it. We're
desperate. We'd already paid for the rehearsal space before he'd said all this.
Okay.
So
you'd already set up the date.
Yeah.
You're going to a location.
Like you could cancel it, but it's like, well, we haven't jammed with anybody else. It's like, maybe we'll fucking give it a shot. And maybe he is like a nice guy and he's just
shot in the dark.
Yeah. You never fucking know. We get there. We're supposed to be there noon to 2. We're all there at noon. August and I are there at noon. It's 12:05.
August is the
bassist. It's 12:15. It's 12:30. He hasn't shown up. Hasn't texted. Hasn't sent an email. 1 o'clock comes around. Still not here. It's 1:45, 15 minutes before our time ends. And we get an email saying, hey, my son's sick, so I can't make it today. It's like, we fucking realized you weren't going to make it today, you fucking cunt. I just fucking wasted $60 on this fucking rehearsal space I didn't need to get. And you just said Raul was a shitty drummer, which is objectively not true.
Your old drummer.
Yeah.
Well, it's subjective, I guess. Art.
Yeah, well, that's one thing, but you can be like, yeah, somebody is not a good song. He's a great drummer. That's not objective.
No.
That's not subjective, sorry.
Right.
It's objective. Right. You can look at somebody and go, that guy is very good at his instrument.
Okay.
He's a good guitar player.
Yeah, I get, but
I'm objectively good at the guitar.
Okay. Yeah. But it might not be the style of music I like.
Exactly.
So that makes it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. It doesn't mean I might be a bad songwriter or whatever, but like I'm good at the guitar. I can play the guitar very well.
Okay.
Like comedians. Like,
so you're mad at this guy for
I just didn't
bashing your ex drummer.
Yeah. Because I'm still friends with him. It's like, dude, that's my friend, you fucking piece of shit.
Can you be friends with the people in your band?
Yeah. Yeah, you can.
you think it's more like isn't it harder to like be like, hey, I don't like the way you're drumming on that. Do it differently. Because you're like the boss.
Yeah, but I'm not a tyrant.
Sure, but I mean, you want things your way, I'm sure.
I want things that sound the best.
So if he had an idea that if he wanted to do reggae, and you're like, we're not doing a reggae song here, but that sounded better.
If it fit the song, then yeah.
Yeah, then you do reggae?
Yeah.
You put on
I do. I mean, the whole song's not going to be reggae, but there might be a section of it that's reggae-ish.
Yeah. Reggae, arguably the most annoying genre.
Popular country is the worst.
Most annoying?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just because, I mean, ska, I could do without ska, but like polka. But as far as like popular, like just production, lyrical content, pop country is fucking trash.
Objectively,
it's trash.
They're good at their music.
They're great at singing. Their fucking song. I don't need to hear about a truck anymore, or about how great America is, or how awesome dirt roads are.
I want to hear about a Volkswagen electric buzz.
Fucking there. I mean, there's some great. Zach Bryan's pretty good. Sturgill Simpson's fucking incredible. Colton Waller's great. Like, I guess they would be considered. They're popular now, but I wouldn't. They don't fall under like the fucking Florida Georgia line.
Right.
Toby Keith. I don't care if he died. He fucking stunk. He was no good. The fucking Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue is the fucking worst song ever written.
Wow.
It's the fucking worst song of all time. Clip it. The song fucking sucks.
Because you thought it was simple lyrics, you don't like the subject,
you
hate America.
This fucking self-aggrandizing nationalist fucking jerk off every fucking America. I fucking hate that shit. It's pandering horse shit. I hate pandery shit.
Right.
It's like, it's the equivalent of clapter in comedy. When you just go up and go, aren't so-and-so all bad? And everybody's like, yes, you're so brave for saying this thing everybody believes. It's like, it's fucking, talk about your cum or something funny. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
I would never pander. This is a great studio you've got here, by the way.
Thank you.
Great studio. Have a great sense of style.
Spared no expense.
Clearly. Except you spared your expense on a
that
creaky
came with
fan.
The house. Yeah, that one was that was the old. We spent about 10 minutes just for the listener, trying to get the fan to not squeak while it was on, because it's starting to get warm here in Colorado, so it gets a little stuffy in this room.
Oh my God, it was so beautiful today.
Great day.
Oh my! This is how you know we're old men now. We're just like, oh my God, the weather today was so good.
Yeah.
Imagine. Oh, wait till next week. Wait till next week. It'll be cold again.
Yeah, for real.
I mean,
that's true.
I have looked at it.
I've heard the forecast is supposed to snow later.
What day?
I don't know. I just heard it's supposed to snow.
Is it a lot? Is it supposed to be a lot?
I didn't get that information. I just said, I know what's going to happen.
Because my school can afford one more snow day before we have to start making them up. So if it's going to snow, I hope it happens on a Thursday night, and I hope it's 10,000 inches. Then I don't have to work on a Friday.
Got it.
That'd be pretty sweet. Don't you think?
Yeah. Like any artist, Ethan has another job that actually pays his bills. He's a teacher, just for the listener if you don't know.
Yeah, I am.
4th grade.
Not anymore.
8th grade.
Middle school, yeah. 7th and 8th.
7th and 8th.
Yeah, they're a bunch of little creeps. They're going to type my name into YouTube, and then they're going to watch this and probably comment.
You had the funniest thing where one of your students was like, and we can take this out, I guess, if you don't like it, but where he was like...
Well, let me hear the story first.
He's like, my phone's sick, put your number in it or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
This is just so funny.
Yeah.
I don't know, the balls to do that to a teacher.
No, they're just
so weird.
They're gross. And
he wanted you to put your number in it, right?
Yeah, they do this thing where they like to hit on all the male teachers because they think it's funny.
Right, yeah.
When it's like, none of us like this.
It's like they're playing gay chicken in a way.
Exactly. And it's like, buddy, that's whenever they do that stuff, I'm like, do what you want on your own time. I don't care. What you're not going to do is do it to me, because
you're not going to objectify me.
It's not even about being objectified. It's about like, what if, God forbid somebody says something and then there's some sort of investigation.
Right.
Like
they're saying stuff to you.
Yeah. That's like shit you don't play around with. But we got cameras everywhere in the school. So it's like,
They picking up audio as well?
So I could be like, no, that kid was hitting on me. He was saying horrible things to me.
So are you worried about ICE coming into your school and deporting
No, we actually had
kids
to.
now?
We actually had to have we had a whole thing about that. We had to send a letter home. There are certain like they have to have in order for ICE to even be able to do that, they would have to.
What does ICE stand for?
Immigration
Cops.
something cops eat cum. I think that's what the E stands for. Immigration cops eat cum. Do you know that?
I didn't. It probably sounds better in Spanish.
Yeah, como. I don't know how you say cum in Spanish. What does ICE stand for? Immigration, Customs and Enforcement. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, we were just talking before the pod that there's a big Mexican population at your school.
Yeah. And we had to send a letter home in order for ICE to be able to, because they can't go into schools unless they have a signed order from, I believe, a federal judge. It can't even be a state appointed judge. It has to be a federal judge. And they have to have like probable cause, and there's a whole bunch of things they have to go through for that to happen. A bunch of steps. Yeah, it wasn't a fun paper to have to hand out.
Right. Are they scared? Is there any kind of like sense of like?
Yeah, I mean, they're handling.
They want you to protect them, and so I mean, I don't know. They seem more vulnerable.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's they just accept that that's the reality.
I mean, yeah,
and you know, they're like making jokes constantly to
Children
each other. It's
always
like,
powerless.
Yeah, they're very resilient. So
you
it's
like just roll with it.
Yeah, it is what it is.
They're like, hey, mister, you gonna help me if an ICE agent comes in?
Yeah, I've been literally asked that question.
I was gonna say, yeah, what do you tell them?
And well, like before the election, so many of them were like, Trump's so cool, love Trump, Trump. And then like now he's president.
Little shits?
Yeah, just because Trump is the ultimate troll, edgelord douche, which is what 13-year-olds are.
Yeah.
And then now he's in charge,
and
the reality's setting in, and they're like, oh, this isn't so cool.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's what he said he was going to do. To his credit, that's the way he is. That is exactly what he said he was going to do. But I mean, as far as he goes, the whole thing's going to fucking backfire, and he's going to lose Congress in next fall. So,
like, Democrats are going to be voted in.
Yeah,
more Democrats.
They'll gain a majority or at least the Republicans won't have a supermajority anymore, so they won't be able to get anything done. So he's got to cram a lot of horrible shit into the next 20 months, 22 months, which it can most certainly happen. It can most certainly happen, but well, I don't watch the news. I don't care.
Oh, you don't?
I don't. No,
you don't. You wouldn't say you're conscious of what's going on socially?
I see
politically.
I see things here and there. I saw that they said they want to get rid of the penny. I'm like, do that. I like that. Get rid of the penny. Costs 3 cents to make a penny or whatever. Or actively losing money, printing money. Get rid of the penny. Who gives a shit? Like, that's like something where I'm like, there's no politics. It's literally just numbers. Just make nobody in this fucking dumbass country knows how to fucking count anyway.
Yeah,
I used to fucking work at a gas station. I mean, have you ever like give it this? I think this is a fucking Larry the Cable Guy bit, but like, I gave somebody something came out to $10.65 or whatever, and I had a 20 and a 1, so I gave them 21, so I get $10 back and 36 cents or whatever it was, and they like held it, and they're like, I don't need the 1. I'm like, I want the 10 back. And they're like, oh.
Well, I mean, yeah,
it's ridiculous. I mean, when I worked at Taco John. This is 10 years ago now. I worked at Taco John's, and like, I had girls that worked up front where they'd hit the wrong button. Instead of like somebody gives them a 20, and then instead of hitting a 20, they hit 50, which doesn't matter as long as you give them the right change. And like the order was $17.47, and they had to fucking write it out and like do the math. It's like $2.53. Give them the fucking money. Just do. I mean, there's a whole line. Nobody knows how to fucking count in this country.
I was at a place recently, and I had exact change, and I gave him like, it was like $16.50 or like $40.45, and I like gave him the exact change, and he like held up a dime and was like, "What is this?" And I was like, Are you fucking kidding? I was
feel
like,
like an
that's
old man?
$20.
Did
I
you
was like,
the first time you ever felt like an old man?
No, I mean, I was just like, wow, he's an idiot.
Like,
I
what
guess
are
that's
you-
what I felt more like sorry for him more than I did shame
Ugh.
about my age.
Yeah.
But I was like, what?
It's a dime.
Yeah, I was like, that's 10 cents.
It's a fucking 10. It's 10 cents, you dummy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It was surprising.
That's when being a sarcastic asshole would really come out.
For you?
Where I'd be like, is this a bit? You know what a fucking dime is? And then, he goes up and tells all his friends when he gets, this fucking old douchebag. It's like, I'm 31. I'm not old. I'm 31 with no kids. I have a better life than you. I told that to my students once.
Oh, Jesus.
They called me old. I'm like, I'm not old. I'm 30. This was when I was 30. I'm like, I'm 30. Like, that's old. I'm like, guys, I'm 30 with no kids. I have a better life than you. My life is better than yours. End of story. Like, I can pay bills.
I mean, arguably a dad would say his life is fulfilled.
Yeah, but
as well.
in comparison, I'm not talking about a dad. I'm talking about a fucking 13-year-old boy.
Okay, yeah. Well,
It's I can grow a beard, and I can play my PlayStation all night if I want.
Which you do sometimes, I hear.
Every once in a while that happens.
Yeah.
Usually during the summer activity.
Okay. Yeah, keep it.
Yeah.
Reeled in.
Yeah.
I
beat the shit out of Ghost of Tsushima in like 3 days over the summer.
It's a lot of playing.
It was 14 hours a day for like a week straight. It was like, it doesn't happen very often for me.
I was playing Hogwarts Legacy is probably the only game I've gotten into recently. And like,
did you beat it?
No, because I saw how much more shit I had to do. And I was like, I can't, this is so much. I'm already like, I got some pods I got to edit and shit, like it was defeating. And then I watched some videos about Kingdom Hearts and I was like, this game sounds dope. I always like.
I never played Kingdom Hearts.
I had it on PlayStation 2, but it was one of those that I just never finished. Again, it was kind of tedious. The gameplay was a little harder.
Yeah.
But I was like, I was listening to Jackie Cation's podcast, The Dork Force, and she had a guy on who was explaining the whole like
lore.
Of Kingdom Hearts. And it sounds dope as fuck.
Yeah, I remember when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out on PS2, and I remember seeing the commercials all the time, and I wanted it, but I just never got it. Games were like, they were like $60. I remember when it changed from brand new $50 to $60, and that was the whole world was over.
I've been going into Walmart's recently and going down the gaming aisle because I'm actually kind of looking for Kingdom Hearts here and there.
But they probably have
nostalgic.
They have a collection, I'm sure.
Yeah, you
like
probably
1,
have to
2,
get
and
it digitally.
1,
right?
2, and 3, and it's probably like $40 because I'm pretty sure 1 came out on the PS4, and they probably made one for the PS5.
Yeah, it's like, how much data do I have to get like on my PS3? I think I already have like 2 games downloaded.
Well, the good thing is you can delete that data and keep the save data. So then if you ever want to go back and play it, all you got to do is just reinstall, and then your save data is still there.
Yeah, video games, huh?
Video games rule.
You don't think it? I mean, you do so much creative shit, and then you just binge a video game for like 3 days.
Yeah.
You don't feel like, oh, I should be getting.
Constantly.
Okay, well,
but it's also like I usually sometimes I'll binge old games that I've beaten already. So it's just like, this is me this is how I decompress. I'm just gonna fucking play through Fallout 3 again because I don't have to think. And you can listen to podcasts or listen to books or whatever while you're doing it, or talk to your friends, because it's like I don't have to. I'm not learning the story as it goes through or learning the gameplay. It's like I fucking already know all that stuff. This is just a muscle memory thing. It's a good decompressor. I don't smoke crack or do heroin, JD. So this is what you got to do
to decompress.
Yeah. Do you smoke crack?
No, I didn't. I wasn't.
No, you never did crack. Remember when we saw that guy smoking crack on Colfax on the way to Jokes and Jams?
Yes, I do.
That was very irritating.
I mean, it's not a first for me.
Well, it was just the fact that it was directly in front of the Capitol building at a bus stop.
Yeah, I mean,
and I had just gotten a parking ticket on Colfax 2 days before. That's when I was like, am I a conservative 50-year-old man now? Because I'm like, we should put this guy in jail forever. Why did I get a ticket?
Yeah. Well, they know you're going to pay your ticket, and they don't expect much from that person.
That's right.
Assume.
That's right. They should get him help.
Right. Yeah.
Methadone.
Yeah, I don't know. We're talking about creativity. I was just thinking, trying to stay on brand for the podcast, you know, stay away from the comedy gossip and stay on creativity.
Yeah.
I do think the band dynamic is interesting. Well, with comedy, you know, you come up with a joke, you go up and say it. There's no other input. Do you like that with that there's no other input? Like you don't have to get the drummer to figure out how to drum or the bassist to like come up with their part to the song.
It's a different thing. It's like
you like the group aspect of it?
Yeah, it's fun.
And then you don't like you wouldn't want a group aspect with joke writing?
Well, I mean, you bounce bits off people, and that's kind of
You've never bounced a bit off me once.
Well, I have to respect your comedy to do that. So
okay.
I think I've bounced ideas off you.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. I said, wouldn't it be funny if I started wearing a giant hat? And you're like, that's so stupid. Who would ever do that? That's what he said. That's what he said. Faithful podcast watchers. Who watches a fucking podcast?
I find myself more and more. I think it's about what app you're on. YouTube is like the biggest app. And, you know, the people just are, you know, they don't leave one app to go watch another thing if it's there. So,
yeah, but like, why watch? Like, there's like, you can look at the data. It's like if you just post your podcast on YouTube with just a picture, it doesn't get anything. But if you have video,
yeah, people
it gets a lot more. It's like,
they want to see what you look like.
I don't know why that is.
You're also an old person.
I'm not.
You're kind of old.
I'm not.
Yeah, it is
you're
funny
older than me.
Yeah, but you're also, in ways, you're way older than me.
Well, I'm more mature.
More of a curmudgeon in a way.
I'm mature.
Yeah, but you're also, you have to admit you're curmudgeon-y.
I am not. People think you're curmudgeon when you say things like they are.
Like, I can't imagine why people would watch a podcast.
I don't. It's like you're just talking.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. There's other elements that people bring in the podcast.
Sometimes people pull in. Like, I understand that, but
sometimes they pull in clips. Sometimes,
but
sometimes they're more charismatic people that sit on the couch and people want to watch, look at their faces.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand.
You wouldn't want to see Anne Hathaway, talking on a podcast.
She had her top off. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. You don't need to be
crass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like
There are probably middle schoolers watching this.
Whatever. They've said worse things. I know they've said worse things. But it's like I've pulled up video podcasts just because I'm on YouTube, like you said, but I'm not watching them.
Yeah, some people don't. But there's the option. And again, it's just the app you're on. I heard that Netflix is trying to add podcasts to their thing because
somebody needs to fucking blow that place up. It's too big.
Netflix?
Yeah, there's too much.
Well, the biggest rival to Netflix is YouTube.
Yeah, and they're owned by
service.
Google. It's like there are four companies own everything.
Sure. Yeah. This is the curmudgeon part. Yeah.
This isn't a curmudgeon thing. That's not being a curmudgeon.
That you getting so upset about is
the fact that 3 fucking tech companies own everything. That's being a curmudgeon. You think that that's fine?
I mean,
I think
I'm like your middle school kids. I'm just accepting it because
you think
what
that's
else am I going to do? No, but also I can't do anything about
everything
it. What am I supposed to do?
4 people in the United States used to own everything, and then we had anti-monopoly laws, and then that wasn't fucking allowed anymore, and then they all got rescinded, and now we're here.
Yeah.
Where that fucking piece of shit, fucking Tesla guy, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
A fucking unfunny loser.
He's doing comedy
fucking
back.
Nazi salutes.
Wow, you did it.
Fucking, yeah, I just did it on a podcast nobody's listening to, and he did it at a fucking inauguration.
Now you could see
he did it at the fucking inauguration, and then all of his fucking sycophantic dipshit friends are like, "Oh, it was a Russian salute." Like any of them know a fucking thing about the Russian Empire?
They're saying
Roman salute. Yeah. Like anybody knows anything about the fucking Roman Empire?
They would if they took your class.
Look at this! Look at this quote from Marcus Aurelius that I can say supports my viewpoint on life.
You don't like Stoicism? Come on, you don't like Ryan Holiday?
I don't care about Stoicism. I'm not saying that there's no value in any of this stuff. What I'm saying is all these people going like, no, that was a Roman salute because he really cares about Rome. It's like, he doesn't fucking care about the Roman Empire. He doesn't know fucking jack fuck about the Roman Empire. And neither do you, Joe Rogan. You don't know a fucking thing. You just got told by a smart guy that you're also smart. And you went, actually, you're really funny, Elon. Everybody doesn't work hard, unlike me, who does steroids. Yeah. I have like no respect for podcasters. No offense.
Come on, you know how hard it is. You did a podcast. It's hard. It's a grind.
Yeah, it's a waste of time.
Well, for you, maybe. I mean, I could argue some of the things I think you do are a waste of time, but I wouldn't say it's. I mean, being the band thing seems like a waste of time.
I'm better at guitar than almost every comic is at comedy.
I mean, you could say I'm better at podcasting than any.
I'm better at the guitar than you are podcasting.
Sure, but I'm better at podcasting than you are at the guitar.
I have 90,000 streams on one of my songs.
That's great. But again, I don't care about that. So I wouldn't say it's a waste of your time, though.
I hate podcasts.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
I'd love to be on anybody's podcast that's listening. Now I have a theory, because if you notice, of the big comics, everybody with a video podcast, every single one of them, all the big name comics with the video podcasts are fucking terrible stand-up comedians.
I don't know how Maron's still doing it with no video.
Yeah, Maron still does it with no video, and Burr does it with no video.
Yeah, but Burr, I mean, no one cares about Burr's podcast.
You kidding me? It gets like 400,000 streams every fucking week. What are you talking about?
Would you look at his numbers? How the fuck do you know that?
He's got like
You're just throwing that out.
He's got like a top 10 comedy podcast on all the fucking things. What are you talking about?
I don't think he's on the top 10.
You're insane. Comedy podcast. Look him up. I bet money he's in the top 10, top 15.
Sure, but I mean, that doesn't mean we don't know what his numbers are, is all I'm saying.
If Tuesdays with Stories, which also isn't video, gets like 100,000.
They do video.
Now, they were getting like 100,000 every single fucking week without video.
I don't know that. That's true.
They've said it on the podcast. Look at that. The fucking fifth one. What are you fucking talking about?
Okay, but no one knows what their numbers are. There doesn't say what his numbers are.
You don't think that he's getting 400,000?
I don't know what their numbers are and how they do
if
this.
The number one is Joe Rogan and he's getting 3 million a week or per episode.
There's no way to tell.
Of course you would say that.
I mean, all I'm saying is, I'm saying facts, and you just want.
What I'm saying is, of all the big name comics,
you just want to throw out numbers
with the name, all the big name comics that have a fucking video podcast, their fucking stand up is shit. The ones without video podcasts, their shit hasn't fallen off.
Well, it's probably fallen off, but I mean, they still have a very loyal base.
I mean, look at Burr's last 3 specials compared to any of Rogan's ever, or compared to Tom Segura's last 4. Burt Kreischer's always stunk. Andrew Schultz fucking stinks. I shouldn't actually be saying all of this on a camera right now. Conan doesn't do stand-up.
That's true. And Joe Rogan's number 1 in comedy. The Weekly Show podcast with Jon Stewart's number 2. Call Her Daddy's number 3.
Okay.
Smart List number 4.
The third comedian up there, stand-up comedian, print,
is Bill Burr.
Yeah, he's the best. He's the best. Conan and Burr, they're the 2 best. Yeah. I mean, Conan's not stand-up, but
you have a redhead bias, though. As well.
I do have a redhead. I also have a quality bias.
Yeah. Dude, fucking Bill Murray on Rogan was pretty good.
I don't listen to Rogan.
Well, I saw Bill Murray's on there, so I watched it on YouTube.
I can't stand him.
Yeah, I do think it's crazy though that the Netflix's biggest competitor is
That's how
YouTube.
We got started here.
Yeah, and that's like why they want to add podcasts, because people will hit play on that and they'll get plays.
Ad revenue.
Yeah, they can charge for ads.
It's funny.
Spotify tried to do the same
became
thing.
So big because there were no ads. It was the way back in the day.
Yeah, I was gonna say when.
It's like it was so everybody could just post everything, whatever they wanted, with no ads, and then it got fucking bought by Google, and now it's to the point where if you have Google Chrome, you can't even have an ad blocker, otherwise they will stop your access to YouTube.
Yeah, you gotta get YouTube Premium, baby.
Yeah, fuck that.
Which
I'm not doing
have.
it.
It's the best.
I will not be doing that.
My wife and I got rid of like all our streaming services at the beginning of the year to kind of scale back. The only ones we kept was Prime because we had already paid for it for the year or whatever, and YouTube Premium. Dude, it's so good. It's so much better. Change life, game changer for real.
Or you can say no. Just use Google or Microsoft Edge and download a fucking ad blocker.
Edge. Well, see, you're doing all these workarounds. The dog's
exactly.
Trying to get in the back of the couch here. Can you,
Brent? Come here.
Yeah, just for the listener, or viewer, you can't really see it, but Ethan's dog's running around the studio.
Yeah, he's being harmless, and JD is.
Well, I got a lot of wires. I got a lot, like I said, spared no expense. I've got a lot of
You've got 3 wires here. What are you talking
about? 3.
There's
a bunch of wires over here.
2, 3. There's 3 wires.
4, 5, 6.
Nobody's going over there.
Okay, all right.
You also have a typewriter you never use.
Yeah, it was my wife's grandma's, I think. So.
Yeah.
I mean I didn't want to put it there. My wife wanted to put it there.
Doesn't mean you can't use it.
Well, why would I use it?
Write a script.
I would rather do that on my Mac computer, another company you hate.
I hate Apple.
I love Apple.
I hate them. See, the problem is you do have to just accept it to a certain degree.
Yeah, that's stoicism, baby. I think Marcus Aurelius said that.
To a certain degree. Marcus Aurelius also didn't live in a time when 3 fucking companies owned everything in the world.
I mean, he was the emperor of Rome.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
He owned everything.
Of course. Yeah, so of course he would say that. Just accept what is. It's like, you own everything, dude.
Yeah, I know, right? That's like if Elon Musk, we were worshiping his diary 3 years or 3,000
That's exactly what a substantial number of people already do with his tweets.
Interesting.
Dude, I saw a comment under something, because the only things I argue on the internet, are sports and the fact that the Civil War was about slavery. Those are the only 2 things I will get into fights in the comments about. Only thing. But I did see a guy, I can't remember, it was on some Instagram post, and like the first comment, it was about Doge or whatever the fuck Elon Musk is doing in the government. And the first comment was, he's a billionaire. He doesn't want more money. He's not stealing tax money. It's like, what fucking world do you live in where you think these guys give a flying fuck about anybody but themselves?
Yeah, I don't think you get to any. I mean, it's been proven time and time again that power corrupts.
I don't think it does.
Well, that's wrong, obviously.
No, I don't think it does.
Again, it's been proven time and time again.
Has it been proven?
Musk, dude, that's one of the.
So, no,
power corrupts.
What you're saying is he was a good person and then got power.
No, I'm not arguing that. I'm also saying
that's what corrupt means.
Corrupts?
He was already corrupt.
Yeah, well, I guess what I was originally getting at
to magnify
is that no one gets to that point, that much success, quote unquote, by being a good person, and that's been proven time and time because they're bad people.
Yeah,
and I guess I was.
Well, he was born into hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
From diamond mines in apartheid Africa. South Africa. Like, that's another thing about Rogan and all those fucking Austin douchebags. They'll be like, the slave mines in Africa. We got to do something about this. This is insane that they have slave mines in Africa. Mining lithium. And it's a horrible thing. You know, it's just, they got slavery over there still. Like, it's a horrible thing. And then in the next breath, they'll be like, Elon Musk is an amazing person. It's like, he owns the slave mines, you fuck. Bleep that. Who do you think owns the slave mines?
He does?
Yes. You need the lithium for his batteries for the Tesla. Of course he does. Yeah, he's a shitty person.
Well, yeah, no arguing there.
And but I also disagree that you can become a billionaire, and you can become hyper rich and not be corrupt, an evil person.
Well, what do you consider hyper rich? I don't think you can be a billionaire without being.
Paul McCartney's a billionaire. You think Paul McCartney's a piece of shit?
I mean, I don't know if he's a good person.
What has he ever done that's evil?
I mean, I don't know what he does in his personal life.
The guy wrote Hey Jude.
Okay, but also that was before he was ultra rich.
And no, it wasn't.
Well,
it wasn't.
He was pretty rich. He wasn't a billionaire, though.
The most famous person on the face of the earth.
That's the rich and the
you kidding me?
Famous.
He's the fucking Beatle.
Rich are different things, though.
He's a Beatle.
Sure.
The Beatle. Nobody's ever said a bad word about him except for John Lennon.
Maybe one of his ex-wives, the one without the leg?
Yeah, the one who fucking took all of his money.
So you can't say no one said anything bad about him because someone did.
But everybody said bad things about everybody.
Okay, well then, thank you.
Does that mean everybody's
going to get your point?
A corrupt, evil
I don't think
person?
he's an angel. All I'm saying is I don't think he's an angel.
Nobody's an angel.
Well, yeah, they were all cheating on their fucking wives and fucking their friends' wives and shit.
Yeah, but that's not how they got so much money.
But it's also a sign that they're not a good person.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'm saying you don't get rich like that without being And
there's this idea that just because people don't have money doesn't mean that means they're all automatically good. I know plenty.
You're getting the opposite. You're extrapolating the opposite thing of what I'm saying.
That's the exact. Well, if everybody who's rich is evil,
then if you're poor, you're a good person.
Yes, I don't know if that's true. Well, that's as asinine a thing to say as the other thing.
I don't know. I don't think one equals the other. It's not a 1-to-1 ratio.
Yes,
thing.
It is.
It's human nature. It's
exactly.
It's not a math equation. It's the lived experience of a human being, dude.
I don't think
you can't boil that down to ones and zeros.
You also can't boil down cheating on your wife to becoming a billionaire.
No, but I mean,
which is what you just did.
I know. I'm saying
that's what you just did.
I think people who can accrue that amount of wealth are not good people.
So Paul McCartney's not a good person simply because.
Well, if he cheated on his wife, then I would.
I don't think Paul ever cheated on his wife.
He's not a great person.
I don't think Paul ever cheated on his wife.
Well, you don't know. Also, I haven't read all I haven't read all those biographies.
Yeah, I know. And, George did, and John did.
Yeah,
I don't know that Ringo did.
I thought Ringo was fucking one of George's wives too.
No, that was. I mean, maybe I don't fucking know.
Okay. Why are you so willing to say that about Ringo, but not Paul? You're like, no, Paul's an angel. Ringo might have fucked somebody's wife. I never said
Paul was an angel.
Okay, well,
I didn't say that.
All right, well, we're saying I don't know if he cheated with wives, and you're like, no, Paul didn't. Ringo might have.
What I'm saying is, that guy has $1 billion.
Okay.
If you're saying he illegitimately earned that money.
No, I don't know about illegitimately, but I think you don't get to that point without being morally compromised.
He wrote popular songs.
Because he could write a popular song means can't fuck over somebody.
So he fucked over somebody to write Yesterday.
Two different things. Writing a good song.
That's how he got the money.
Well,
that's how he got the money.
No, he probably. I mean, I don't know if he got all of his $1 billion from just writing Yesterday. Isn't it all about like running a company and like getting rights to different artists' songs and like owning those? And
that's how Michael Jackson made a lot of his money.
Well, yeah, he fucked over Paul McCartney. He
bought the Beatles sound.
Yes.
Yeah,
and Paul wanted those back, and I'm sure he wasn't nice about it.
Well, yeah, because they were his.
Well, so he could not be nice because
they're his.
I mean, I'm just saying. I don't think the ends might not justify the means in that. If he murdered Michael Jackson just because it was over his original property.
Well, he didn't murder Michael Jackson.
Sure, but I'm just saying, like,
Michael Jackson murdered himself.
Sure.
Well, his doctor did.
But I mean, that doesn't make it right. That doesn't mean like anything he does is justified because these songs were originally his, or he came.
Are you kidding me? You don't believe in? You don't think the artist should be able to keep their art?
Well, he sold them. I mean, Michael Jackson was able to get them legally.
The company did.
Yeah. So I mean, that's not. I mean, it sucks for Paul McCartney, but it's also not the game he was playing. You know, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, the Beatles got fucked on a lot of contracts in the 60s.
But guess what? He's also a billionaire. So
he is now.
What are you going to do?
He wasn't. He
but he was
when that
also
happened.
So really
the most
wealthy
person
back
in the
then.
world.
Okay, those are different things, though. Being rich and being famous, not the same things.
I know.
Okay, well, you keep saying, well, he was famous. So
I'm not saying that they're the same thing.
Well, I don't.
But your argument is everybody who's rich.
Anybody who's ultra like a billionaire.
What the fuck does that mean?
Well, yeah, I guess there's a different. Well, that's what I was going to say originally, but then we got off on this other thing about.
Nobody's ever going to convince me a fucking artist, an author, a musician,
Neil Gaiman, monster,
who writes. Let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying. Who writes something that resonates with a bunch of people, and they make a ton of money off of that. I don't think that they got that money illegitimately.
Sure, but I don't think that...
and I don't think it makes them a bad person that a lot of people like their art.
No.
And I don't think just because they might have the wrong opinion on something doesn't mean that they should have all their money taken away.
Again, I think you're putting all that on what I was saying.
And I also don't think it means they're morally compromised and are shitty people just because they happen to do something that makes a lot of money.
Elon Musk is a shitty person.
That's not what I'm talking about.
I'm not talking about any of the stuff you are about their moral things.
You said all rich people. You said all ultra rich people.
Billionaires.
I just named one.
Well, Paul McCartney?
Yeah. And you're like, well, he's got to be
he's
got to be a shitty person because he's a billionaire. It's like, well, I don't think he is.
But you don't know.
But you also don't know.
Yeah, I know. But I think
it's proven unlike Elon Musk, where there's plenty of evidence to the contrary.
I think there could be a wake of people we don't know that
there could be, but there's not.
Well, his ex-wife says he doesn't
his
like him.
His ex-wife also took half of his money, and she never fucking did anything.
Well,
except walked around with a fake leg.
Again, that's a little dismissive of a
I
whole
don't care.
person.
She didn't fucking write.
So you could be dismissive of her? Okay.
Yes, I can.
He wrote. Okay,
Yes,
well, then I could be dismissive of all these
I'll fucking dismiss
billionaires.
I'm not saying to be dismissive of all the billionaires, but I'm saying is when you start saying this, when you say only speak in absolutes.
I'm not speaking of.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Again, we can debate what ultra rich means, but then we start saying billionaire, and billionaire, I do think is too rich.
I'm not saying whether it's too rich or not too rich. What I'm saying is just because you make a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean you're a shitty person.
Sure.
Now,
you can make a lot of money and be a good person. Yes.
The odds are that you've probably done some unsavory things, but it doesn't mean you have. Just in the same exact way that just because you're fucking poor doesn't mean you're a fucking saint.
Sure.
And I know this because I grew up poor. And I know plenty of poor people who are not good people by any stretch of the imagination. It's nuanced.
Sure, yeah.
The new N-word.
Well, you're trying to say that it's 1-to-1, and I'm saying it's nuanced.
No, you're not saying it's
yes,
nuanced.
I am.
You're saying every billionaire has earned their money by being corrupt. That's what you're saying.
I was saying that I don't think billionaires are good people. I don't know what that exactly means.
Exactly.
I'm not
you're
saying
not being
they're
specific
corrupt
enough.
Okay.
You're not being
because it's
specific.
nuanced.
Well, you got to be nuanced. You still have to be specific.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
I don't, because
Yes, you do.
because it's too nuanced.
You would fail an assignment in college without being specific.
Well, passed college, went to college.
What'd you go to college for?
Technical communications.
Yeah, you didn't write a fucking single paper, did you?
I wrote one, and it took me a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
It was bad. It was
That's what I thought.
It was a rough one for me.
That's right. I wrote a thesis.
Mine was about
45 pages, all cited.
Well,
and defended.
I think I did most. You had to do that one.
Yeah. No,
to
you
graduate.
didn't.
You couldn't graduate without doing your.
No, you didn't.
A thesis.
Sorry, an honors thesis.
Okay. Well, maybe that's a little different.
Yeah, you had to be chosen because you were so smart and attractive.
You went to college?
I did.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm a teacher. Required.
I thought you just had to have a certificate.
No, this isn't Florida.
Well, some states you have to just have a certificate.
That's Florida.
Okay, well, you're acting like some people. Everyone has to go to college. You have it to be a teacher. That's what I was arguing.
What I'm saying is, this all came down to you said money and power corrupts. I don't think it does. I think it reveals who you really are. That's all I was trying to say.
I think if people start treating you like you're special, then you start acting like it.
Yeah, but I think you start doing that if you actually believe that you're special.
I don't think you get to that point if you don't believe you're special.
Well, yeah, you have to have a certain level of delusion.
Yeah.
But you have to have enough. You have to be self. You have to look at yourself
objectively
or critically enough to be like, no. And I think you see this with. It's like the child star syndrome. Like a child star,
is molested.
Well, yeah, but then, of course, but once they become, I'm watching him. He's fine. Once they become adults, they go off the fucking rails. I mean, they're like Hillary Duff didn't go off the fucking rails, but everybody goes insane, and then most of the time they kind of recalibrate, and they're like, okay, I went crazy. I think money and power kind of do that initially. If you're not a crazy person,
for those
exactly,
kids, yeah.
If you get a bunch of money and you don't fucking know what you're doing, Prince.
Yeah, and you got to learn. There has to be a learning curve, and they just have such an extreme lifestyle. There's an extreme learning curve.
If you get a bunch of money, that's great. That's great for you. When that happens, a lot of people come out of the woodwork to try and take advantage of you.
Sure.
And I do feel like a lot of people with money, or a lot of people think just because you've been on TV that you have money, which isn't the case either.
Right. Yeah.
So I think, God, now I sound like I'm defending rich people, even though I'm just saying
you are, which is crazy.
It's not. It's just I've actually fucking thought about this instead of just going, that person has more money than me, so they're a fucking piece of shit. I think
that's not what I
think that's detrimental to actually fucking getting anything
personally.
I think it's detrimental to get anything accomplished, and I think that's precisely the reason why we're in the spot we're in right now. I think it's precisely the reason that fucking dipshit is the president of the United States.
Well, yeah. Again, I don't think that's good. And
I don't think it's good either.
we were talking about Elon Musk, and you brought up Paul McCartney, which are like two-dimensional.
They are both billionaires.
Well,
and you said all billionaires are shitty people.
I said, yeah. Well, yeah.
Those were your words.
Well, my words were, you don't get to be a billionaire without being a bad person. You know, I guess what I was getting at is you don't. Yeah, without being morally compromised, which to me makes you a bad person.
Okay, plenty of people are morally compromised and don't have $1 billion.
Sure.
So
but everybody who is a billionaire has been morally compromised.
Everybody's morally compromised. So what?
I wouldn't know if everybody's morally compromised. I mean, not everybody's
bullshit.
Everybody's a saint.
Everybody's done shit that they're ashamed of, and they shouldn't have done. Everybody.
Sure, but there will be some people that will turn down the opportunity to make lots of money if they're going to hurt people. There are those people out there as well.
That's true.
Yeah, they would never be a billionaire.
I don't see where writing a bunch of really popular songs or books or movies and you become a billionaire.
No one's talking about that.
That literally has made people billionaires.
Is what Paul McCartney. It made Paul McCartney a billionaire.
J.K. Rowling's a billionaire.
Well, okay, that's again. She didn't do that from.
Are you kidding me?
Well, we were talking about songwriting, but then
she did it from writing.
Sure, okay, and I like that. Well, she also, there's theme parks and stuff. I mean,
yeah,
you're arguing that came from her writing.
It did directly come from her writing. What are you talking about?
Sure, but I mean, not everybody who writes things gets theme parks.
Not everybody who writes things makes the most important.
Yeah, but it's not. Well, okay, you could make the argument that the theme parks and all that money came from the writing.
It did,
but I mean, those are other people that are glomming onto her thing and then expanding it.
Yeah,
and then she's profiting from that
because she created it.
Sure, but I wouldn't say that's directly. Well, I guess.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I was trying to say.
I'm trying to say that there are other factors that come in.
Would those theme parks exist
if she didn't
write Harry Potter? Would they exist?
Well, maybe.
No.
Other theme parks would exist.
Other theme parks would exist, not those ones.
Sure. But Mario Land could exist.
Sure.
And they would be making money off of Mario. The people who create theme parks would still be making money off of whatever
the person
IP.
Who created Mario gets. Because it's their intellectual property,
yeah,
they get money from it.
They don't know how to fucking make an animatronic Mario who's at the fucking theme park. They're not making those rides.
Neither does the person working at the theme park. The engineer gets paid to do that.
Yeah. That's not.
You see what I mean?
That's not JK making that money from that thing specifically. That's kind of where I'm at.
I'm not. Your argument's falling apart right now.
We're getting lost in the weeds for sure.
I don't think we are. What I'm saying is, you take her fucking opinions on social. That literally has nothing to do with the way she made her money.
Okay.
Literally, she had all that money before.
Yes.
Okay. Paul McCartney made all that money because he wrote those songs. That's how he made all the money. If he didn't write those songs, he wouldn't have the money. End of story. Would he be a billionaire if he didn't write all those songs?
I mean, sure, we all take stepping stones to get Bill on, but I mean, didn't he
plenty of people also?
I'm sure he owns the rights to other people's songs because he made Apple Studios or whatever.
Apple went out of business.
Yeah, but he still made money off of that and was able to probably do more with that money.
Actually, Apple fucking went bankrupt and they got fucked over by that. They made a ton of very poor business decisions in the 60s. A ton of them.
Okay.
In part because they were the first major band.
Sure.
And the music industry was evolving basically kind of around them. And they were trying to stay out of it.
Okay. Well, I think we should just get back to Elon Musk is a bad person.
Well, yeah. Okay. I never disagreed.
No. Well, we also
I could say there's one thing he has done that's
long
good.
Detour to
what I'm saying is your absolutist statement I think is wrong, and it doesn't actually do anything to solve any of the issues.
Well, arguing like this isn't actually
it's expanding your thinking.
No, because I think it's we're nitpicking different nuances.
Well, you said you were saying billionaires are all bad.
I think I don't think you can become a billionaire without being bad.
Okay. But
therefore, all billionaires are bad. Yes, I can see where that comes from.
That's fair.
Sure.
Fair enough. And then you go, well, here's an example of one who's probably not bad.
And again, probably. We have to put that caveat.
You can literally say that about everybody. So you can't go, well, he gets a caveat just because he has a bunch of money.
Well, it's because you know what Elon Musk did to be a bad person and you don't know what Paul McCartney did to be a bad person.
Yeah. That's kind of how
But there are people who don't like Paul McCartney, and they will give you examples of why he's a bad person.
Yeah, like who?
His ex-wife. We keep bringing her up.
Okay.
And you want to dismiss her because she got money from it.
I do want to dismiss her because he was literally married to one woman for 30 fucking consecutive years, and then she died. And then that's his second wife. And the only reason he has a second wife is because his first wife died.
Okay, so she doesn't have get to have an experience.
I'm not saying that she doesn't have an experience.
Then why are you dismissing her?
Your idea that just because somebody's divorced means they're a bad person?
No, well, she obviously has reasons that she got divorced from him.
Okay, plenty of people are divorced.
Sure, and that doesn't mean I'm just saying there's an example of a person who disliked him for some reason.
What do you do? Everybody dislikes somebody.
Sure, okay, yeah, and we're saying all I'm saying is Paul McCartney's not a saint, and we can both agree on that.
I've never said he was a saint.
You keep saying he's never done anything wrong because he wrote Hey Jude.
No, I'm saying he earned his money from writing Hey Jude.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
It's your whole, maybe they got divorced or cheated on their wife. That fucking has literally nothing to do with how they earn their money.
That makes him a bad person.
Doesn't matter. Has nothing to do with the way they... Doesn't matter. Poor people do that.
Sure.
Poor people don't make $1 billion.
Yeah, because...
So Paul McCartney cheating on his wife, which I don't know that he ever did.
Sure.
Let's say he did. That literally has nothing to do with how he made his money, which is what we are actually talking about.
No, we're talking about whether they are good people. Billionaires are being good people. Then
nobody should have money. Ever.
Well, I'm not saying they shouldn't have money.
Nobody should ever have money.
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve. They can't have money because they're bad people.
Somebody's a bad person. He doesn't deserve $1 billion.
I didn't say that. Well, I don't think so personally, but I mean, I get that they can make money however they want.
I think an artist who makes a song that gets 10 trillion fucking streams and listens and is beloved by everybody on earth should be able to earn the money that song makes.
Sure. And I also think they're probably a bad person
because they wrote a popular song. Don't you think
I don't think any great artist is pure.
No, okay. No bad artist is pure.
Sure. Yeah.
No artist is pure. So this purity test idea has nothing to do.
I don't think that makes them deserving of money or not. I think they should be able to make whatever they make. Go for it. But I don't think they're good people.
But why?
Because I don't think you make that amount of money without.
But you said earn what they make from their.
Sure, they can do that, but I don't think that it makes them good people.
But it makes you a good person to earn money from your job.
No, that's you putting that on it.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not. I'm talking about something else, and then you're bringing me into this argument.
Oh, but I'm not.
You're trying to put this on me.
I'm just saying it's flawed. It's a flawed argument.
I'm saying there's nuance.
I'm saying there's no nuance.
Well, I think that's wrong.
I'm saying there's no nuance. You're like, well, this guy earned a bunch of money because he wrote a popular book or made a whatever. Paul McCartney is just a placeholder here. He writes a popular song, but that song becomes obviously it's super popular and he makes a ton of money off of it.
Yeah, I've been listening to the Beatles albums recently.
Yeah, whatever.
The music.
That's fine. You don't think he deserves all the money that those songs?
No, I think he does, but I also think he's probably not a good person.
Because he wrote a popular song.
No, because he's made that amount of money.
But he made the money off just writing the popular song.
It's arguable.
It's not.
I mean, I guess if you're saying that the only reason, I don't know, man. Yeah, there's a lot of writing Hey Jude did not give him $1 billion. There's not a 1-to-1 ratio there.
Well, he also wrote way more popular songs.
He also did a bunch of other things that got him to where he is.
He also
there's a lot of different things
that
go in
there. For 50 consecutive years.
Yeah. And what if they fucked over somebody on the road doing that? What if somebody got hurt and they didn't pay him out? There's things, they're factors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't think he deserves the money that his songs make?
Yeah, but Hey Jude didn't give him $1 billion. There are a lot of other factors that went into touring, all these other things that went into giving him that money.
Well, would any of the other people that were working on the tour have ever even been on the tour if he didn't write the song?
Yeah, but if he didn't do all those other things, having Hey Jude would not have gotten him that money. He still had to do other things.
But if he didn't write Hey Jude, he wouldn't have done all the other things.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean...
It does mean.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
And that's what he's making his money off.
He's making money off touring. He wrote a song. Great. But if he didn't tour with that song, let's also, if people didn't buy the albums...
Paul McCartney also is the most successful songwriter who's ever lived. It's not just Hey Jude.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So you're trying to say he made his money from doing this one thing, but there's a bunch of different factors that go into that.
So you think he's a bad person because he's a musician?
I think he's probably a bad person.
Why? Because he makes more money than you.
Because he's got a lot of
Because he makes more money than you.
Because he didn't stop at a gajillion dollars. He went to $1 billion.
So he's Prince. So he's supposed to...
Can you get the dog, actually?
He's supposed to just stop doing things because
I think at a certain point, you have to want that money, which is greed.
Or he likes playing live. And also, musicians don't control the ticket prices. That would be Ticketmaster.
But he could give away a lot more money than he has.
How do you know how much money he gives away?
I don't know that.
Exactly.
But I don't think you stay a billionaire without giving. If you don't, you could give more away.
Oh. So now it's he's not doing exactly what I think he should do.
I'm just saying there are markers of what a good person would do, and that's not what he's doing.
How do you know that's not what he's doing?
Because he wouldn't have $1 billion if he was giving.
So you think he should give away all of his money?
At least maybe if he could get. What would be the difference of his life if he had $100 million? So
you think he should give away 90% of all of his money?
I don't know. I think there's a certain number where it's like it doesn't make a difference.
I don't disagree.
Yeah. So
I don't disagree.
Why keep the billion hoarded or whatever the amount is over that? If
I think honestly, also when we say these people have all this money, it's not like they have it in their fucking wallet, right? It's in when they say he has $1 billion, it's because Prince. It's because he owns. He owns the Beatles catalog. So it's like that's valued at this much money, and that's counted into what he's worth. And he has this much money, and his house is this much. It's like all of his assets combined with the money that's in his bank account.
Uh-huh.
So it's like he should divest. So he shouldn't own the Beatles catalog just because it's worth a lot of money.
It's his. He wrote it. So
that in and of itself is worth over $1 billion.
Is it?
Are you kidding me?
I don't know what that shit's worth, dude. I'm not a fucking music accountant.
They've sold 1 billion records.
Yeah, but I think you and I both know those things don't translate to direct money to him.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that's the other thing. Is those record companies. You're like the musicians, the billionaire. That's how fucking rich these record companies are.
Sure, I don't think. I bet they're terrible people.
It's like when people are mad at fucking pro athletes. They go, the fucking pro athletes, they're so fucking rich, they're overpaid. It's like, the owner of the Broncos can afford to pay that guy $40 million a year, and he's not losing money.
Yeah, I don't think the Welton family are good people.
Yeah, they're not.
Okay, well, at least we can agree on that.
But to then go, the pro athletes are pieces of shit because they also make a lot of money that they're never going to be able to spend all of just because they're good at a sport. It's like you're mad at the wrong people.
Yeah, I'm not mad at them.
And you're going, this person can't be any good because they've made a lot of money.
They're probably not.
I think I don't think there's a correlation between being a good person and how much money you make.
I think there is when you become a billionaire.
I don't.
Okay, well.
I think it reveals who you really are.
I disagree.
I think I would say
because I don't think good people get to that point. Because a good person, there is a moral thing somewhere where they won't do something that would get them to that point because they can't do it morally.
Well, how do you know that these people aren't being told one thing and then something else happens that's out of their control?
Well, that's on them.
That's not their fault. Like your little example of somebody got hurt and their insurance didn't pay him out on the fucking Paul McCartney tour. It's like Paul McCartney doesn't control what this fucking piece of shit insurance company does.
Sure.
That's not his fault.
Okay, yeah.
And when these people are hyper famous, this is where the fame
in my little scenario, Paul McCartney pushed this guy off the balcony.
Yeah, exactly.
And was like, I'm better than you.
Yeah,
and
he's like, I wrote Golden Slumbers and you didn't.
Yeah.
Which would be pretty funny.
And now you're
I'd be
gonna
like this and I'd be like, you've got a point. You've got a point. Carry that weight's awesome.
He was like, your legs won't be able to carry that weight anymore.
Yeah,
in a wheelchair.
My hips are imploded.
Yeah.
I just think it's a particularly considering the political climate of the United States. I think saying all these broad statements about all of these people it clearly hasn't worked.
Oh shit, your dog puked.
Where? Oh. All right, well, I'll clean. Do you want me to clean that up right this second?
I'm going to clean up your dog's puke.
I will clean it up. I'm
going to fucking clean it up. It's my house. I'm going to make sure it's the way I want it to be, okay? So that brings us to an end of left and right brain. Dog puking because it couldn't stand.
It couldn't stand your argument. What did he even eat?
Looks like a bunch of hair and shit. But appreciate you coming on.
All right, well, that was way less funny than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, me too.
Now we're not friends, and Prince is never allowed at your house ever again.
Yeah, that's I mean, that was probably one of the things I thought would come from this podcast.
Hey, it's better than shit.
Sure. Yeah.
It is better than shit.
Where can people find you? Where you got coming on? I know you got a lot of shows coming up.
When's this going to drop?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Probably.
I'll be at Lincoln's downtown on Thursday, hosting a show there. I'm doing fucking your show on the 20th.
Comedy Save the Video Star on March 20th at Western Sky Bar and Tap Room.
I just saw it on my schedule. I'm like, oh, I got to choose a video for that. And then Jokes and Jams is the 27th at Mercury Cafe. And then Max Taps is the 29th, I think. Yeah. That's 2 days after 27th, which is a Thursday. So, yeah. That's in Highlands Ranch.
Yeah. You can, if you're a billionaire, come and fuck up Ethan to show him that he's wrong. So
I'm not saying... my whole point, the whole point I was trying to make is money and power doesn't corrupt you. If you're a corrupt person who happens to get all of that, you're going to just be more corrupt. If you're a good person, you're going to do what you can to do good. As much good as you can.
Sure.
Right? Because you don't know all the nuances of these powerful positions. So even sometimes good people have to do shitty things in order for good things to happen. Or say shitty things for good things to happen. Lincoln's a perfect example of this.
Like what?
Lincoln famously said, if my job isn't to end slavery, it's to preserve the Union.
But he did end slavery.
Yeah, but he said that. And then a month later issued the Emancipation Proclamation. But why did he say that if he already knew he was going to do this thing? Well, because he knew if he said the thing he wanted to say, then he couldn't do the thing he knew he needed to do. So, do you see what I mean?
Sure.
Like, you have to do, especially in politics. Politics is a dirty fucking business. You got to do shitty things to get the good thing. Fucking slavery, the fucking 13th Amendment got passed by 2 fucking votes. 2 votes. And Lincoln had to bribe people to get them to vote for the right thing. Bribery is not good. But the guy had to do it to get the good thing. So sometimes you have to do shitty things to get the good shit to happen.
So you think the ends justify the means?
Sometimes.
Interesting.
Sometimes they do. Not every time. Not every time. But in certain cases, yes.
All right. Well, we'll leave you with that. The ends justify the means.
That's
Ethan
you're
Everhart.
taking exactly what I said out of context. Exactly what I said out of context.
You said sometimes.
You didn't. When you quoted me.
Well, I mean, I didn't give the full context.
Exactly.
So
which
that's
is the point. Yes, that's what that means.
I didn't say the whole truth.
Most of it.
Yeah, that was.
Except for the most important word in the sentence.
I mean, that's your opinion.
Every once in a while.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming in. Thanks, Prince. And
right.
I'll con forever. Be excellent to each other. And talk to you soon.
Yeah. Quit giving your money to Amazon.